Hey everyone, and welcome to the first of hopefully many custom model kit build videos on this channel. If you've been following me since Arisen Culture, then you'd know that last year I tried my hand at airbrushing and painted a Black War Greymon custom of the recent Figurerise amplified War Greymon kit. And I really enjoyed that, my first time with an airbrush, and I wanted to delve deeper into the Digimon line because they haven't announced any more variants of Imperialdramon, so they just did a normal one, and I wanted to do Paladin Mode. So that's what I'll be trying to do in this video. So I didn't do any like scratch building or additional pieces to the kit or anything like that. I do want to do something like that for the Paladin Mode sword, but for this it's just a straight custom of what's already there, swapping out different colors, making it my own thing based on the Paladin Mode from the Digimon movie. Now for the majority of this build I used E7 paints. They are airbrush lacquer paints, but you do need to thin them out quite a bit. But once you do, they do layer on quite nice and they have really striking colours. So I primed most of it in the P01 Primer Grey and the P03 Primer Black. Anything that would be gold later I primed in black, and anything that would be white or any other colour I primed in grey. Then after that, my white, because I was going to use quite a bit of white, I used Primer White. For the blue, the Flesh Blue, I used Palatinate Blue, B04. And for the gold, I used just their basic metallic gold, which is M04. And for the small red details on the kit, so Imperialdramon's dragon eyes, I just used a basic Tamiya enamel red. And when I decided to top coat the kit, I used Vallejo gloss and a small bit of flat Tamiya just with a brush. And any other small little details that needed touching up or things like that, like the gem on Imperialdramon's forehead, I used that as a mix of a brush as well as Gundam markers to sort of clean up the edges, because it's very hard to get paint to sit in that area properly. Now I don't know if the footage turned out properly because I'm recording this separately. Basically I painted this over several days, doing one coat each day, and made sure that each of the key joints where a transformation would take place or a particular movement would take place was either masked or ignored entirely, as in my first kit of Imperialdramon where I just redid the colours, I accidentally painted on certain areas and it basically made it so I could no longer transform the kit and limited a lot of the motion. So this one I tried to avoid it, so I could build it in both the Dragon Mode and transform it into the Paladin Mode. And there it is all snapped together in the Dragon Mode. I'm not a big fan of the Dragon Mode, not just as a model kit, but just in general. I've just never really cared much for the design, and that mainly comes down to how cool the actual transformed form is after that. But really it's just a goofy looking dragon that can barely stand up. It's a little floppy, it's a little weird even after painting all the pieces and basically tightening up a lot of the joints in the process. It's still a bit floppy and awkward, there's very little posability, there's not a lot going on in it, to be honest. But yeah, not a big fan of that design or how it feels. Even just building it like that, it didn't feel that great. But that's not why we're here. For the transformation, which is a parts formation, where you need to swap out parts and flip things around and stuff like that. It's not a straight transformation akin to like the RG unicorn or anything like that. This is one where you need to swap out a few pieces and move things around and separate them from the model. But when he is all put together, he does look fantastic. He stands quite tall, and as you'll see, he's next to the entry grade RX-78, which is in the 1/144 scale, an SD Gundam RX-78, the War Greymon and Black War Greymon Figurerise standard kits. These are all roughly in a master grade size. There's the master grade Barbatos. He is in an action pose, but you can sort of see just how big this beast is. So basically they stand quite tall, the wingspan is quite large, but the wings are fully posable, so you can shrink that down or make that even bigger if you'd like. And you can get some pretty good dynamic poses out of it. The toes are articulated, so you can get some pretty decent movement out of them, as well as the ankle joints, but it is quite top heavy, so it is recommended that you use an action base or something like that when you do want to get some good poses. Even when I did that, unless you tighten up some of the chest joints or the waist joints, you will notice him flop side to side over time. But basically you can get some pretty good poses out of it. Accessories wise, it's pretty much just the positron cannon. At some point I do want to build the sword, like I said, but that's a work in progress for another time because I'm nowhere near that level. But basically it's a solid kit, very striking. The only part that I didn't paint were the eyes, I just used the included stickers, but the way the head's sculpted and everything like that, the stickers just work perfectly on it. It doesn't break the design of the kit or anything, doesn't make it obvious that it's a sticker or anything like that. I'm just not confident in doing that area yet. So yeah, that was my first major model kit custom on this channel. I hope you enjoyed that video and I hope to do more in the future. I am currently playing around with candy paints as well as just touching up gold on other kits because the injection mold gold in most Bandai or Kotobukiya kits and things like that, it's just not that great. But yeah, I'm just playing around with things. I haven't decided on what the next full custom is, but I am tempted to play around with more Digimon kits, in particular the new Imperialdramon kit, which I've seen some beautiful customs of. It's just that he will take a lot of time and a lot of paint. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you all next time.